So, everybody, you guys can all see, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Ready?
Ready.
All right, so we are going to go over how to wire these volume control modules and with the switches in place as well. So the biggest thing with these switches, you can see that these have paddles on them. Paddles. So you've got a center position, bottom position, top position. These work in opposite of what you see here. So if when I select the chapel, this paddle in here goes like this, and then when I flip it down to local microphone, it flips up and it goes like this. What I always do, because you've got so many different colors here, whatever side has the green wire, that's going to be your negative side. Whatever side has the red wire, that's going to be your positive side, right? The middle wires are what go over to your volume control. That's what goes out, and then these are your ones that come in. So if we're looking here, we've got local microphone. Local microphone is going to go up to the top here, and that'll go to this one as your negative, and this one is your positive. So we'll start wiring this. So basics, always, always, always tone out your lines, label them. I've got PER for perimeter. I've got SPKR for speaker, RS for Relief Society. So we're going to strip them. Whenever I'm doing these modules specifically, because when you're wire nutting, you have to twist the lines and everything too, which will also take more length. Normally I'll do 2 knuckles, but when I'm doing wire nutting, I'm going to do 3 knuckles is what I typically do. I like to give myself a little bit more of a lead. Makes my life a little bit easier. Lightly score it, grab it, snap the jacket, pull it. You got your horsehair there, snip it, take that, and then you're going to take that end off right there. My standard with these is typically about half a fingernail is about the amount of copper I like to normally give. When I'm doing wire nuts, you can get away with a little bit longer. So you can go up to like a full fingernail length if you want to. I do hand measurements because that's, you know, what you got on you at the time. So when I'm doing wire nutting, this is what I'll do. Just like that.
Fingers never grow.
Fingers never grow.
Never.
Ears and noses grow.
Apparently.
Fingers never grow.
Always. Forever.
So score, break the jacket, pull
Especially
it,
David's.
horsehair, snip, take these guys, prep it all, prep all your lines, and again, labeling is essential. Make sure that you've toned lines ahead of time, label them. Don't trust the old labels that you find. Usually, most of the time they're right, but it's only most of the time, which means we should always verify. Just like anything else, trust but verify. Always tone the lines, because if you toned it yourself, you know that it's right. So, just like that. Ooh, wire nuts. Would you go grab me a set of wire nuts real fast? I have to grab the wire nuts. Okay. All right, so wiring. We've got the perimeter line, leaf sided line, speaker line, right? So we're gonna go off of here. We're gonna need a jumper off this as well. So again, green side is your ground. So we're going to pick yellow line, which will be the local microphone, because it goes from here to up there. This will be your negative line. So we're going to go, this one is the local. Local will be your Relief Society in this case. So we're going to take this one and this negative one here. When these wires are all mucked up like this, clean them up. It's always easier to work with the leads, especially if you have enough length. Start fresh. So snip it, make it fresh again. Because when they're all messed up like that, that's just harder to work with. So start fresh. Braiding the cable is when you twist it so that all the little wires go together. Braid the cable like that, that way it's all ready to go. With these, the different colors obviously do different sizes. The oranges are pretty good for at least when you're doing 2 of these 16 gauges together. Typically I'll go smaller. You can get away with the blue ones with these as well. The biggest thing when you're wire nutting, guys, is make sure that each of the wires are individually braided, and then do not braid them together before you put the wire nut on. The key with wire nutting to make sure you do a good job on the wire nutting is that they're both at the same length at the end. Don't twist them, don't braid them. This will do all the braiding for you. So then place it in, feel it bottom out, then twist it. Now, you don't have to do this in the audio world, but I still do it anyway because it's better. But in the electrical world, the standard is that you're supposed to actually get 3 physical twists in the wire when you twist it. And that's how you know it's tight enough and that you've bottomed it out and you've done it correctly, right? So again, Relief Society line, that's my negative line. So then I'm going to come over. The brown line is going to be the top. Switch. See, this one's all screwed up. If it is something that you can rework, you can straighten it out like that again. But what I hate is like when some of the strands are shorter and some of them are longer. So when they are, I will start over, or I'll snip it back a hair, and then I'll strip the jacket back a little bit so I can get it at the length that I want, right? I can braid it, and take this guy, place them together, make sure the ends at the same height. Also, I like to make sure that like my jackets are usually the same height. That's not essential. But the biggest thing with that is making sure that your jacket doesn't stick out past the wire nut. So when you bottom this out, that jacket needs to be buried in the wire nut. So that way you don't have exposed copper on the other end. You're going to twist that just like so until you get 3 twists. That's on there nice and tight. Okay, so we're going to do the next one. Next one will be chapel, right? So chapel will be the perimeter feed. So if I flip up like that, it goes to the bottom ones. So right here, it's going to be your orange and your blue. Your blue is on the side with your green wire. Green is always for ground. So we're going to take that. This one looks like it's braided, ready to go. So we'll just go ahead and wire up that one real fast. See in that one, see how the jacket's a little bit longer than the other one? Like if I bottom the 2 out, that one's sticking out past. Mm-hmm. My own OCD, again, it's not essential, but I'll snip them the same way. Get them on there. Feel like my hand, 1, 2, 3, boom. We got our orange line here. That one's braided, ready to go. Same thing. Quickly get it to length. Match them. Oh, I got you. Thank you. Strippers. There we go. Felt bottom out. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now at that point, these wires are what are going to go over to your volume control, because again, these feeds are coming in from these 2 lines. Your switch is choosing which feed you're sending out. Middle lines are what are going out. So then green is always ground, red is always signal in these cases. Now because this is going to be going into a Phoenix connector block, these leads are obviously way too long. They're perfect for wire nuts, right? But for a Phoenix connector block, they're going to stick out. So I'll do half a fingernail length. And it's almost always perfect at that time, like that. You don't want to go any shorter either, because then if the Phoenix connector block as you're compressing it down, you can compress on the jacket sometimes, and then you'll have signal not pass even though it's on there, just because it's wrong. So on the back of the volume controls, you have amp and speaker, right? Amp is the source coming in, speaker is what's going out to the speaker. So good thing is that these just come right off the volume control. So that makes it nice and easy. So we'll take that guy, tweaker. Can you hand me a tweaker? Tweaker. Thank you. All right, here we got the other big thing to note whenever you're messing with these Phoenix connector blocks is to make sure that they're bottomed out all the way. The reason for that is because another mistake that happens a lot with technicians is that when these are partially closed, like let's say when it's upside down, you can see how these are partially closed.
You can get under.
Some of these, you can push your wire and it'll go under it, and then you go and you tighten it down, and then you think it's working, and then it's not, and then it's floating, then you don't get the signal to pass. So again, we're going to go right here. I bottom them out, make sure they're all bottomed out, so they're all at the bottom of the square right there. Then we're going to load it. And if I load it, and if my copper leads are sticking out outside of the Phoenix connector block, I'm going to take them out and I'm going to snip them again. But if they're not, and if they're all the way in there, then good. Then we're good to go. I'll always just get them down to where they're just snug right off the bat. I won't crank them yet because I'm holding the wires. Once I've got them both snug, then you crank them. You get that thing tight. Those need to be rock solid. I can't pull them out. At that point, this is our speaker line. This is what's actually going out to the speakers in the room. You've got your speaker connectors right here, your negative and your positive. And we're going to go with those, same thing. These guys will go right there. And you see how the copper is sticking out right there? Immediately I know that those are too long. Don't leave it that way. There's risks of shorting. Snip off that extra little bit of excess. Boom, like that. Hold it. Then wire. Then crank them. Make sure they're cranked down. And then that, will go in the wall. Just like so. You're going to plug that into your volume control and install it. And voila, that's how you wire one.
Boom.
So yeah.
Round of applause.
Yay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you for the tweet.
Oh, cut. Oh.